You know, you might have gotten yourself into a wee bit of trouble when you have an entire bin full of books you just bought. I went away to Portland for the weekend for Portland Book Week, where they kind of highlight all of their independent bookstores, and this is my haul. Yeah. Now, this bag in particular is from my birthday book challenge, where I had 5 minutes to browse an independent bookstore and then 2 minutes to grab as many books as I could carry. And then my husband bought all those books for me. So I had these 15 books right here. But then all of these are from all the other bookstores that I went to and just could not resist buying things from. My estimate is that this is 30 plus books, might be closer to 40. We'll do an official count as we go along. But yeah, this is a Big Mama book haul. Let's get into it. I think I might have been rude. Hi, hello, welcome to my channel if you are new here. If you're not new here, thank you. I've been having so much fun making content. I think I've only posted like 4 videos so far, but I am just having a blast. And normally I'm talking about books that I've been reading, but today we are doing this big ass haul because it's my birthday and I want to show y'all all the books I got because I'm excited for each and every single one. Okay, I just realized I literally don't have any lip product on. Okay, that's better. All right, the first book bag is from my birthday bookstore challenge. Like I told y'all, there's this challenge that's going on around TikTok and BookTok where you have 5 minutes to browse a bookstore and then 2 minutes to grab as many as you can carry. I think I'm gonna be posting a short of that by the time this video is up. So if you want to take a look at my book challenge, go ahead and look there. But this is all the books I got from that one bookstore. It was 15 books and it may or may not have been around $400, but hey, doesn't matter to me because my husband bought them all for my birthday. So thank you, husband. I love you. The first book I got is The Bone Door. This has some beautiful sprayed edges. This is a newer fantasy release. From what I know, it's about a man who wakes up in a maze or perhaps a labyrinth with this other woman that he doesn't know. He doesn't know how he got there, why he's there, or why the shadows are speaking to him in whispered tones. He just knows he has to escape. I've heard there's fantastic found family in this, and found family is one of my favorite tropes of all time in books, so I'm excited. I also got Sisters in Yellow. This is a translated piece of fiction. I believe this is a historical fiction. It's set in Tokyo in the 1990s and it's about 2 sisters and their bond. I low-key grabbed this on a whim because when I started my book challenge, my mind basically went blank. All of my entire plan that my browsing did went out the window. And this is one of those books that I just heard good things about, but I hope I like it. The problem is I feel like I kind of have a hard time relating to sisterly books because I don't have sisters. I have 2 older brothers. And so sometimes they just don't hit for me the exact same. So we shall see. I also got Leave Your Mess at Home. I've heard this is all about family dysfunction and the theme of what do you owe your family versus what do you owe yourself. And I just love that. As someone with complicated family dynamics, yeah, this really resonates with me. Next, I got this new romance called The Shippers. It has some sprayed edges. As far as I know, this is a childhood friends to lovers scenario, as well as maybe fake dating, because this woman goes on her friend's destination cruise wedding and tries to make her ex jealous with her childhood friend. So it just seemed like one of those things that I've heard good things about, but also a perfect summertime read. I also got Sheer. This is a classic weird girl lit that I have just yet to pick up. It's set over the course of 9 days and is about a beauty mogul's slippery slope with their insatiable ambition and the difference between empowerment and abuse of power. And honestly, I love the cover, like the smush lipsticks. It got me. I got this thriller, Missing Sam. This is about a woman who goes missing during a morning run, and so her wife sets out to look for her, but also disprove her own guilt. I don't know if this is gonna be very like Gone Girl-esque. That's the vibe it's giving me, but hopefully it's a different and unique story. I got a signed copy of Peaky Swear. This is a release I've had my eye on for a while and just haven't picked up yet. I think it's more leaning towards weird girl lit. It's about 2 childhood best friends, but then as they grow to be adults, one of the friends goes missing, leaving her child to fend for itself. And so this other girl in this friendship has to try to track her down, but also getting revealed certain things about her best friend that makes her think she didn't know her at all. I also got Seek Immediate Shelter by Vincent Yu. Again, this cover, you guys, it's just so good. Apparently this is set in a small town where one day all the residents get a message being like, there's a missile coming, seek immediate shelter. But then it turns out to be a false alarm. But then they have to deal with the fallout of what people did when they thought this was their last chance to live. That premise sounds right up my alley. Next, I got Upward Bound by Woody Brown. This was a read with Jenna pick, and ever since then, I felt like maybe it would be my speed. This seems to be more of a hope core happy book about workers at an adult daycare, and it hurts full of wit and hope, and maybe it'll make me cry. I don't know, that's kind of why I bought it, so we'll see. I also got a signed edition of My Dear You. This is a short story collection about love, desire, and the anguish of becoming oneself when it's so easy to try to be someone else. I've heard nothing but great things, and it was signed, so I wanted to grab it. I also got Small Boat. This is a piece of translated fiction that I have heard so many good things about. This is sort of a fictional retelling about the 2021 inflatable dinghy scenario where migrants were coming from France to the UK, but their dinghy capsized and there was a French radio operator and her basically inactions and the things she did or did not do that led to the demise of these migrants. And it just feels like such a poignant and impactful story. I also got Rabbit Fox Tar. I don't know, I've heard good things, but I'm like a little intimidated because apparently this is based in folklore. And folklore is hard with me because I feel like it tends to lean more towards literary horror when I like horror. So this is definitely a gamble for me, but so far it's had good reviews, so I'm curious to see if I'll like it. I got 2 paperbacks. One is a signed edition of Deep Cuts. I believe it's being made to a movie. This is a love story set within the music and entertainment industry. That environment can be hit or miss for me, so I'm curious to see if it'll be a hit. Oh, actually, I got 3 paperbacks. Second one is Blob. This is about a mixed Vietnamese and white woman who is struggling with her identity when one day she finds this blob-like creature in an alleyway, takes it home, and she realizes it can become sentient and kind of be whatever she wants it to be, so she crafts it into her perfect all-American white boyfriend. But of course, her journey to self-discovery makes her realize that she cannot control those she loves, and this sounds like the perfect weird girl lit for me, and I've heard good things from people that I know, so I'm excited. And last but certainly not least, I got The Losers Part 2 by Harley LaRue. This is the traditionally published special edition. The Losers Part 1 and Part 2 are based off of a novella called The Dare, and I read The Dare and really liked it, and even got invested in our main characters, even though this is mostly erotic BDSM smut. I've just been really enticed by this series, and so I had Part 1, and when I saw they had Part 2, I was like, I'm doing this book challenge, why not just get it? Okay, there you have it. Those are all the books I got in my book challenge. I also got this really cool tote, so thank you, Broadway Books in Portland. We also went to Powell's, of course. Let me show you what I got from there. One of the ones I'm most excited for, A Short Stay in Hell. I feel like anyone who's talked about this has given it rave reviews, and I had some time in Powell's, so I read like the first 10 pages and was immediately enticed. It's about a Mormon man who gets sent to hell, and he's like hella confused, like, why am I here? I was saved. But little does he know, the one true religion is not Mormonism, so therefore he got sent to hell. And apparently it's like his grappling with this, and so far it was actually kind of funny and comedic, and I really liked it, so I can't wait to further read this. I also got Writers and Lovers by Leslie King. This was only $12. It was in their section where they say like new books for used prices or whatever. So I think this is a new edition, and this is technically an interconnected standalone with Heart the Lover by Leslie King, and I feel like I want to give Heart the Lover the greatest chance it can to blow me away because I feel like most people love that book, but other people I feel like really did not connect with it, and I want to be the one that connects with it, okay, because people seem to love it. However, I've heard that Heart the Lover follows characters from Writers and Lovers, so I'm definitely going to read this first. And lastly, I got Severance by Ling Ma. This is, from what I know, like very similar to the show in the sense that it's like a workplace setting, and I believe like it's literally Severance-esque, like you're innie and you're outie work office person, but I wouldn't really know because the back gives me literally no detail. It's just people going on and on about how great the book is, which is great, but the only tagline I have is it the end of the world or just another day at the office? That's literally all I know. So we shall see, but I've heard great things. Now, on our way to Portland, we stopped at multiple bookstores, one in Baker City called Betty's Book, one in the Dalles called Clint's, and one near the Hood River called Wacoma Bookstore, I think. So from the one in the Dalles, Clint's, I got Phoebe Berman's Going to Lose It. Now, I have an arc of this, not because I was sent it by the publisher, because I traded my arcs for it. So I got someone else's arc of this. But one of my goals for getting all of these books was to actually replace the arcs I have with full copies. Obviously, arcs are great, especially if I get them from the publisher. But if I think I'm going to really like a book, I want the real full book version, not the arc. So that's partially why I got this. Now from Betty's Books in Baker City, this is one of my new favorite bookstores. It's still like 2 hours away from me here in Boise, but I had a fantastic time. Go check it out if you're ever in Baker City. First, I got the Arcane Arts. This is a dark academic magical realism book with a professor-student love story. However, I think they're in like a PhD program, so it's not like super creepy. This is going to be my next read after I finish the book for my horror book club. I am so attracted to this book. I don't know what it is. And this is another book that I have the arc for, but I wanted the full version because I feel like I'm going to absolutely love it. Dark academia, magical realism, plus a spicy romance. That is like speaking my literary language. And I also got the paperback version of The Divorce by Freida McFadden. This is her most recent book. It's funny because I've never actually read anything by her, like read it myself. However, I've watched many a video essays on people breaking down her books before. However, now I have 2 books by her, The Divorce, and I also have Dear Debbie, which are her 2 most recent releases. I'll get to them at one point, I super promise, but I want to make sure that if I did get this book, it was in paperback because there was a hardback version, but like, why would you pay $30 for a Freida McFadden book? Like, So when I saw this post had paperback, I grabbed it. We went to so many independent bookstores in Portland. One of them is Grand Gesture Books, which is a romance-only bookstore. And I got 2 books. The first one is Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. And this is autographed, baby. This is the author of Priest, if you've ever read that book. And you know, I've always been really interested in reading more of her work. I just didn't know where to start until I got recommended one day, I think on Book Talk, this book. So yes, I'm curious to see if I will like this. I then got the first book in a series, Servant of Earth. I've heard this series is absolutely amazing. I will say this does seem to be a romantasy with trials, a fae realm, and a young human woman who's forced into servitude and is about to change everything. I'm a little nervous about the fae part. Fae is not my favorite thing in fantasy romance or fantasy in general, because I feel like fae is such a catch-all. Like, you can make fae shapeshifters. You can make fae pixies. You can make fae have like any single type of magical power known to man because, hey, they're fae. Like, who's to say they can't have this power? And it just kind of annoys me. I'm just like, you know what? Give me like a different magic system that is specific to this world, not just, well, they're fae, so they can do that. You know what I mean? So, however, I've heard great things, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Next, we also went to the queer-focused and owned bookstore called Always Here, where I got the book Sunburn. This has been all over my FYP on my social media. I don't know literally anything about this, besides I think it's sapphic and it's set in Ireland. All I'm going off of is based off other people's opinions, which I know I said in my decluttering video that I'm not gonna do that anymore. What can I say? Humans are full of hypocrisy, okay? I also got Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. C.G. Drews is becoming one of my favorite authors, so now I want to read everything they've ever written. I have read Hazelthorn, and I've been putting this off because I just felt like maybe it's going to be too similar. However, you know what? Fuck it. I love C.G. Drews, and I'm going to read it. This is a YA botanical horror, and I'm sure because it's C.G. Drews, I'm going to love it. Now, what was fun was they actually had a very small indie publisher at the store called Tenebrious, which specialize in new weird horror, which obviously right up my alley. And if y'all have been watching any of my videos recently, you know that I loved the book Muñeca by Cynthia Gomez. It's her recent gothic adult debut, I believe. What do I see on this publisher's stand? A book by Cynthia Gomez. This is a novelette double feature called Split Screen. This all sounds so good. I cannot wait to read more from Cynthia Gomez. And I also got Mad Eden. Now, from what I've heard, this is a little bit experimental. It's a novel about trans and neurodivergent family and our collective identity crisis. Even the description of this book, it feels so complicated, but yet so enticing. So this is one of those books I think I might include whenever I want to do the challenge where I'm going to read books that intimidate me. This might be on the list because I don't really know exactly what it's going to be about. I just know that it has autism rep, queer rep, and that's enough for me, but it piques my curiosity. And I love when a book does that, where I'm just like, you entice me. We also went to Parallel Worlds, which is the sci-fi and fantasy only bookstore. I mean, how cool is that? But they also oddly had an amazing selection of horror. The first book I got is a signed copy of Immaculate Conception by Li Wang. This book is an Infinity Star read for me, so I've already read this. I only got it because of this iconic signature by Li Wang. She actually lives in Oregon. I think she recently just won a prize for this book, which is so well deserved. It's fucking incredible. Go read it if you haven't. I also got Little Heaven by Nick Cutter. From what I've heard, this is a cult-like thriller or horror. I'm going to be doing a full week of reading Nick Cutter only books come October for spooky season. So this was going to be added to the list because, again, one of my friends from my horror book club, they have the best recommendations. They said they really love this book by Nick Cutter. So that's why I got this. I also got Into the Drowning Deep. This premise just sounds incredible. It's about this vessel, I think like a submarine, which 7 years ago set off on a voyage to the Marina Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend, but then it was lost at sea. And some people have called it a hoax, others have called it a tragedy, but now a new crew has been assembled, some to seek to validate their life's work, and some seek the greatest hunt of all, the truth. But there's an ambitious young scientist, which this voyage is to uncover the fate of the sister she lost. I love sort of a mixed media element where there's a documentary or a memoir, and you're kind of having to come to grapples with this found footage. It just sounds incredible. Cannot wait to read. And lastly, I got There Is No Anti-Memetics Division. I feel like I've never seen this in a physical bookstore until I got to Portland. It was everywhere. Maybe it's written by a local author. It probably makes more sense. You either love or hate this book, but the concept sounds so interesting. It's set in a sort of dystopian sci-fi world where humanity is under assault by a malevolent anti-mems, ideas that attack memory, identity, and the fabric of reality itself. Okay, it's categorized as a science fiction horror. And apparently this is a reimagined, expanded version of an online novel that kind of got put into a full book. Sci-fi's not really my thing, but sci-fi horror I could get behind. So I'm very excited. I also went to Selected Stories. This is a bookstore that focuses on translated fiction and just general lit fic, which I think is just So freaking cool. I love translated fiction. And the guy there, I met the owner. He is from London. So I got to talk to him about my time living in London. And I got a Beast Links Towards Beijing. I believe this was shortlisted for the Women's Prize, I think, or the Booker. I can't remember. I don't think it's translated, so it can't be Booker. I think it's Women's Prize. And this is a literary horror. So again, am I setting myself up for failure? Maybe. However, have I only ever heard amazing things about this book? Yes. Okay, God. Yes, I basically lied to your face when I said I'm not letting people's reviews sway my opinion. I lied to you. I just did, okay? I can't help it. But this has been out of stock online for as long as I remember. Like, I'm trying to get this book and it's like, it'll be delivered to you in 3 months. And I'm like, no. So when I found out Selected Stories, live and in the flesh, I grabbed it. All right, we're down to the last 4 books. I don't remember where I got all of these. Probably at various stores, maybe the one in Wacoma, maybe various ones we went to. I think there was a literary arts book cafe we went to that had a great selection. So here's just the rest of what I got. First, I got Fat Swim, which is a short story collection about a group of people navigating queerness, sexuality, fatness, their bodies. As a fat woman myself who has been fat almost her entire life, I've had my eye on this for so long. And so when I saw it at this bookstore, I was like, it's my time. I got a Chuck Tingle book, Bury Your Gaze. Once again, oh my God, how many times have I said this? A girl in my horror book club recommended this to me. And Chuck Tingle's an author I literally have never heard of till they brought him up. I also got his other book. Oh, I forgot what it's called. I got it from Book Outlet though. However, they really recommended this one in particular. So I'm excited. Gay horror, I'm in. And I did get Heart the Lover, finally, by Lily King. So like I said, I'm going to read Writers and Lovers first so I can give this the best shot I can. But I'm so excited to actually just have this on my shelf because I've had my eye on it ever since it blew up. Oh, I just pulled out the bookmark. This is another one I got at Betty's Books in Baker City. Love it. Last but certainly not least, I got a signed copy of The Disappointment. The premise is, during a doomed vacation to the Oregon coast, a couple tries to hold close to each other while they bend to reality, warped by personal losses and an ever-increasing drift towards the surreal, threatens to unravel them. I love a book about a couple going through issues and trying to figure it out, whether they get back together, whether they break up, whether they both go psycho. I just love it as a married woman. I find a lot of these relationship-focused books to be relatable when it comes to married couples, and I've heard great things. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I got a signed copy. I just love me a signed copy. All right, I literally just did the final count, and that is 36 books. Honestly, I could have done more damage. Like, I low-key feel like I was kind of restrained. I know I was not, but like, it could have been worse. It really could have. That's excluding all the book mail I got when I came back to. That's excluding the Book Outlet order I just got, which I think was like another 10 or 15 books. So no, I did not need any more books than what I got, but I had a fantastic time at Portland Book Week. It was a full-on blast. But now I have to go add all these books to my physical TBR playlist on Fable and try to shelve them in my already packed shelves. Trust, I already bought 2 more bookshelves to put in this shorter area here, so that way I have more room, because yeah, I have like a little bit of emptiness back here, but not a lot. So these books might have to wait a little bit to be shelved till I get the new bookshelves. And like, I low-key feel like I might do another book on haul soon. Like, I don't know if I'll film it, but getting all of these books that I know I really want to read and then looking at what I have left still, even though I just did a big book on haul, I'm like, it's time for another one. But yeah, that is my birthday book haul. I hope y'all enjoyed. I have several video ideas coming up, lots of reading challenges. I'm also going to be doing a half of the year reading update, talking about my favorite books, talking about the worst books, and also my quarterly reading wrap up, because I have to do my reading wrap ups quarterly. I can't do like a yearly one at the end of the year because I'm on track to read over 200 books. And that might physically kill me. However, one video I am excited to do at the end of the year is tier ranking all the books I read. Those are some of my favorite videos of all time to watch. So the fact that I might be able to create one myself, I'm so excited. That being said, that's my birthday book haul. I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Click subscribe and like and leave me a comment because I love to interact. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.